Show. Welcome back. We are live and at it again. This is the new season for the Plans of the Righteous, the Real Talk Show. I am so elated to be here with you guys tonight. Do me a favor. Take some time out. I want you to tag somebody. I want you to invite somebody. I want you to encourage somebody, anybody that needs to be motivated, that needs to be inspired. Invite them to the show tonight. The show tonight. This is our first episode since the holidays. I'm telling you guys, I had to take a little break. I had to enjoy the holidays and enjoy my birthday. I celebrate my birthday all month long. So I want to thank you guys for all of the birthday wishes. I appreciate all the love and everything that you guys sent me over for my birthday. It was amazing as usual, and I thank you guys. So do me a favor. Meet me over in the YouTube space and make sure you like and share and subscribe to the page. I am going to bring out our guest tonight soon, and we're going to just really dive into this conversation because we're going to have real conversation. This is going to be like girlfriends night. We having real conversation. If you don't know me, I am your host, Cynthia L. Robinson. I am the visionary. I am the founder of Plans of the Righteous. And you can join our Facebook group. We would love to have you guys to join our Facebook group because we are doing some amazing things. This season, we have launched off our P2S2 group coaching program. It has been amazing. We did P2S1, and now we're doing P2S2. So if you know somebody that wants to start a business and get their business up to the next level, you want to definitely join our group coaching program. We would love to have you guys, and definitely subscribe to the page. I'm going to also have up some other things that we got coming forth soon. And I am so excited what 2022 is going to be doing for us in this season. So here we're going to bring out Robin. Come on to the stage. I would love to, I am so elated to have you here. Robin! Woo-hoo! How are you doing today?
I am pumped to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for saying yes. Thank you so much for saying yes. You know, we just connected. We just really connected on so many levels, and I just thank God for you. I'm telling you, I just thank God for you. Our connection turned into a friendship. We're like sisters. We live in the same area. It's just so amazing how all of that. So Robin, are you enjoying this South Florida cold weather?
I love winter. Okay. Tomorrow, and I'm so pumped about it. The boots are out. The scarf is out. I'm ready to go.
Exactly. Honey, I got my boots. I got my winter jacket. I'm telling you, I'm going all in, okay? Because, you know, South Florida, we have heat in the winter.
Yes, we do. And we can't complain, right? We can't complain about our beautiful, beautiful weather. But when we get this weather, like a lot of people hate it in Florida. They hate it. But I'm like,
I know.
2 days. That's all you get it for. 2 days. That's it. It's done. So live it up. Enjoy it. It's so great. I just got a video from my family in New Bedford, Massachusetts, and the snow is up to their knees.
Wow.
So I think we're doing
We'll take this because we wouldn't know what to do with the snow anyway. We wouldn't know. Everything would be shut down. We wouldn't be able to drive. We would be probably scared to go out there and do the little snowman and all of that. So we're good. We're going to just take these few days and be done with it and go with the flow. So in 2 days, we'll have our short sleeves, our tank tops, and our shorts back on.
It'll be good. And you're so right. Like this is the rainy state, right? We can't drive in the rain. So if it snowed here, I mean, oh Lord, help us all. It would not be.
Okay, exactly. I totally agree. So do me a favor, Robin, take a few minutes and introduce yourself.
I am newly published. I am a resiliency and I'm a
Guess what, Robin? You're fading in and out. Adjust your mic area and see if that helps.
How's that?
Try it. Yes. Go again.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, we're sounding better. Here we go. Get up close and personal with the mic. Here we are.
Yes.
Okay. Let's start over. I'm an author, a newly published author. I am a resiliency strategist and coach. I've got some online products that are about to launch this year. I'm a mother, and I'm a whole bunch of other things like a widow, and I'm a bunch of things that I don't even know what's happening yet. I'm also an speaker. So there's a lot of fun going on over here, Cynthia. A lot of fun.
I know, right?
I do. You pointed out so great. You pointed out our and we did it from the very beginning because you, being who you are someone of service and help, and you offered assistance to me, right, with my book. And it was such a touching moment in your life to have someone just, that I just met, like offer such guidance and support. And that's the good stuff of our world, right? When we help each other grow and flourish from what we know. And that's what our friendship was built on. And I'm so grateful. And it's just flourished from there. So I just wanted to take a minute to thank you for who you are, because God has definitely blessed me with you.
Thank you, Robin. Thank you. But I'm about everybody succeeding. I want everybody. If I was Oprah, I'd be like, you win, you win, you win. You get a car, you get a car, you get a car. Everybody get a book.
Everyone gets a car. That's what
cars, shows, you get a show, you get a show. Okay, you get a business, you get a business. I'll be handing out everything. So
I love it.
I absolutely love for people to succeed. And geez, that's probably why our program is called Prepared to Succeed. Oh, I just caught that myself.
That's right.
Okay. So, Robin, you have a program. Tell us the name of your business.
My business is for living life, loving life. And this business was birthed from, it came to me from nowhere, to be honest. Like I had just through a tragedy, and I had an event planning company. That's what I was doing for like 12 years of my life. I owned a business called Social Graces. And I was in corporate for a little bit planning events. And then my tragedy struck. And I'm like, what am I going to do with my life? I need to do something different. I'm called to do something different. I'm sitting in a coffee shop, my favorite coffee shop of all places to go. And I start doodling in a little journal. And I was like, what do I love? And I said, well, I love life and I want to live life regardless of what's going on. A lot of stuff has happened in my life and everybody's life. I said, I get to live and I get to love the journey of living because I'm worthy of that. And I started scribbling in this journal and I just started loving life, living like all the words. And it just came from there. And I still have the little journal where I wrote it in. And that was it.
Wow.
I had no clue what I was doing with it at that point, but I knew that was the company name because that's how I want to live my life. That's how I do live my life. And it's a beautiful thing.
It really is. And you know what? In all due honesty, you are living your life just that way. And I'm so proud of you. I know your journey, and I know, you've shared with me, and it's so impactful of how you resonated into this being. And I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. I really am. I am. I'm so proud of you. And that's another reason why I wanted you on the show is because what you're doing is impacting lives. Can you tell us a little bit about your program?
Yes. It keeps evolving. Beautiful. What's company.
You're cutting out again, Robin.
I don't know what's happening.
I don't know. But I don't want them to miss not one word of what you have to say. Yeah. In fact, I'm going to bring up the comments. Yeah.
Yeah, I echo on your end too. So I don't know. Let me see. Let me see what I can do here. Let me turn this on and off and see if this helps at all. All right. How are we sounding now?
Yes.
Better?
Yeah, much better.
Okay. Okay. Here we go. We'll keep trying. You just let me know if it keeps.
Look, testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Look, I don't want. See, you shouldn't have moved it. Now you're cutting out again.
It's like a good mic too. Okay. You know what? I'm probably just gonna hold it right here. How's that?
Okay, let's go.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. So the program, the coaching program, it's a resiliency program, right? So it's to harness your own resiliency. We all have resiliency inside of us, but it gets lost. People don't know what to do with it, or you just get stuck in pain, right? So my service to the world is I want to turn people's pain into their ultimate power, because that really is what it is. And if you don't recognize it like that now, by the time I'm done with you will. Because I'm that person who is stuck in all this pain, right? And when we get into the story, you'll see you get to move forward with that. It's a part of you. And I learned how to harness that. And so I started to study resiliency. I'd always been a positive person, but when really strikes and you get into that dark space, you're questioning a lot of things, you start to regress back. You're like, wow, I don't feel like myself. This isn't the version that I knew. And so at that point of my life, I realized, all right, I get to work. I get to put in the education. I want to grow. I want to expand. I'm not going to stay stuck in this place, right? God believes that I am worthy of living and living a full life, or I wouldn't be here. So what am I going to do with it? How am I going to turn my life into something worthy, regardless of anything else that goes on around me? And that's the point. So that's what the program is. It's inner leadership. It's power, it's resiliency. It's based off of assessments. I'm certified in resiliency, and I'm getting more certifications that have to do with really amazing resiliency assessments that align you with who you are, your values, and it's just growth from there. I walk you through exercises and workshops, and it's a beautiful thing. And this is going to transpire into a retreat. So some little fun things in Florida. We're going to launch a retreat, and it's going to be beautiful with a bunch of wonderful people that are of power and all different facets of pain, right? So we've got addiction, we've got suicide, we've got harnessing your resiliency, relationship struggles. It's going to cover it all in 3 or 4 days. So that's going to be
wow. That's good. That's good. I love it. I love it. So I know that you were able to connect the dots for yourself. What would you say could help somebody connect the dots that they're, if they're living in a life of pain or some type of tragedy, especially right now with everything that's going on with COVID? So many people's lives have been impacted with loss. So many people have lost loved ones. So many people have, even if they was affected with COVID, they wind up either losing their jobs or having to find different streams of income. How would you help them to try to bounce back? What could you, some tips that you can kind of share with them of bouncing back from that?
So what people realize grief is everywhere. Grief is not just in the person. Grief is financial, health. Grief is loss of a job. So it's not just, so we all suffer from grief in some capacity. And until you understand what that is, you get to give yourself some grace, right? Because as human beings, we think, I just want to move forward. I just want to go. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to stop and look at myself and what I'm feeling. That is the number one worst thing that you can do for yourself, right? So it's take a breath, right? If you're feeling like you're stuck, if you're feeling like you're in so much pain, take a breath.
Mm-hmm.
Say the best thing and the easiest thing that you can do is get a journal. And you hear people talk about journaling a lot. And you, my friend, have a beautiful journal that I use every day. But the great thing about journaling, and the reason why people want you to journal, get off of the computer. When you write and you basically just put words on paper, right? It doesn't matter if it sounds good. It doesn't matter if it makes sense. Just write it down, get all the emotions down. There is a science that's involved with releasing anxiety with writing, right? It's a stress relief. And then when you're done just kind of throwing up all these words and figuring out what the root of the problem is, you get to flip that at the end and say, okay, pick one thing that you're grateful for. Doesn't matter. Even if you don't feel it, you're grateful for something. So you look at that sheet of paper and you see all the adversity that you're trying to overcome right now. But at the bottom, you're ending your story with one grateful tip. That kind of sets the tone for like, okay, you know what? I can do this. I can move forward. And then the next thing that I help people with is I designed something called a grief gauge. And I talk about this in my book. And if you go to my website, you can actually download it for free. And what it does is it's a monthly calendar. And it takes you through every single day of your emotions. And you can track how you're feeling so that at the end of a week, you can sort of see a pattern. And then you can think about like, well, what triggered me in this way? Why do I feel this way? How am I aligning or not aligning with my values? So keeping yourself is the biggest tip that I can give. And two of those ways is by journaling. And then if you are so inclined, go and get the grief gauge. And there's a value assessment too. So what people also forget is we all have values, but we don't always live up to them every single day. And so when you write down your values, how am I enacting this? How am I doing? And you see, because you'll see, just like me, that you don't really align with what you say out loud or your values. So then you work every day to make that value of importance. It's just getting you back to a place of Zen. But it's keeping track of where you're at so that your mind can balance out from adversity to positivity.
Yeah, I love that. I'm going to get my copy. I'm going to get my copy. And I actually have to order my book. I gotta order my book. What is wrong with me? I have to order my book. Yes, I need to do that today. Okay. So I'm going to listen, you guys. She just gave you guys some great tips. And you're absolutely right, Robin. It really helps when you actually write things down, when you journal things. It really is a huge help because you're able to write down your feelings, and just getting it out helps. Most people think that they need to just verbalize every emotion and everything, but writing things down really is a point of really like releasing so much that you're harnessing in your spirit. And it is so true. It is really so true. So I do believe in that. I truly, well, you already know that, but yeah, you know that already.
About journaling too, because if we can help, that's wonderful. I call it like, I just want to vomit it up, right? Because once you release it, it's released and you can kind of take a breath. But a lot of people aren't ready for that. A lot of people haven't really gotten to that vulnerable place of being like, no matter what I feel, no matter what I say, that's who I am and that's okay. If you're not there yet, which I can help you get there, but if you're not there yet, journal is the best way to release this unwanted stress and anxiety that you're feeling every single day. So start there. It's something so simple. And then you'll learn how by writing these things down, then it's easier to talk about them. And when we talk about them, we connect with people. We're all human and we all have pain. And why do we try to cover it up? Why do we try to act like we've got it all together in a box like I did for so long? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Just talk, share, be vulnerable. When you're ready, it takes some time.
It does. And it takes some time. I know when we went through the loss of my dad, that was so because it happened so fast and it was so unexpected that, having someone in your position would have really been beneficial, just not just for myself and it would have been very beneficial for my mom and, our family. So I do applaud you for that, because that would have helped us during that time. And I did find myself where I was, and you actually just made me think about it. I actually was writing letters to God during that time. I was writing letters to God. I actually was mad with God. I was very upset with him. I was like, I dare you take him. How you bless us with him and then you take him away. So I get that. And, we go through those emotions when you lose a loved one, especially somebody that left such an impact in your life. So you're right. You're right. I never thought of it that way, but you're right.
Thank you. Well, thank you.
That's why you're the expert in this field.
I've read a lot. I've studied a lot. It's, and it's just what you just said is so important too. If you're angry with God, that's natural to feel that way. And so many people will use that as oh my gosh, I'm an awful human being, or they'll shun themselves away from God completely. And in reality, if you are aligned with God, right, and you have faith and you have hope, God knows best, even though it's awful, right? Even though it is the worst thing that can happen to you, it happened for you for a purpose. And how are you going to live and not have that person that passed be in vain, right? Like you're here. God wants you. There's a purpose and a reason, and we're going and we're living and we're doing and all of those things, right?
Yes.
And so, but it's good to admit what you said, because a lot of people will keep that inside. I mean, I realized on my journey how I come from. Okay, you ready for this?
Right.
I am the niece of a 40-plus senior pastor of our church. Okay, he was my uncle, was the senior pastor of our church for 40-plus years, and so I come from this beautiful family of service of the Lord. And I realized when I was going through my stuff, I wasn't putting God first. I wasn't putting God first in my day. And like I would talk to God. And so that was a big revelation to me of, okay, all of this stuff is going on. And I got to take a look at myself and realize God is first in my life always, no matter what. And that's what I do. And here, this is for you. But that's why having your journal is so important to me, because that's why I start every day with that. I start every single day with that and aligning. And, some days I don't do it to the full capacity, but I do something, right? Something. And the days that I don't, I'll go back and I could do it at night. So starting my day that way, it sets the intention for everything else. And it's such a better way of living. But we all discover about ourselves, right? And that's something I discovered along my path. And I was upset and I was angry. But then I realized, okay, you are God and you are knowing.
Yes. And you're right. And during that process, you go through these different emotions. But now when I look back, I actually treat certain days as like special days. So for instance, the day that my dad passed is the day that I did the launch party for Plans of the Righteous, when I launched off the very first Plans of the Righteous. Wow. I did it on the day that he passed. So that was like my dedication to him. But in essence, it actually, I felt like me doing it, he was there to be a part of it.
Yes.
So
I forget that celebration is so difficult and so you turn it around and you make it something that's beautiful and it's special to you, like that person's there and we're celebrating. Even though it's a hard day, we still celebrate on days that are hard. We still can grow from them. It doesn't have to be somber, even though it is, right? It's a sad day, but you made it into something amazing.
Yes, I did. I did. And it was a dedication to him. And I find where there's certain days that we actually launch off certain programs. And we launched off something on his birthday. So there are days that I just dedicate just for launching off certain programs because I feel like that he's a part of this journey. If it was not for the loss of my dad, my relationship with God, I mean, I've always had a relationship with God, but I think that even in the midst of me being upset with him, I was able to actually connect more with him. And you guys will realize that the things that you go through can also lead to being a testimony for you to share with other people. And I stress that all the time to the people that's in our accountability call and our Facebook group and anybody that's in contact with me. When we go through things, we don't understand why we're going through it, but it winds up being a testimony. Even look at your situation, it was a tragedy, but that tragedy is actually something that's impacting other people's lives now.
Absolutely. And that's what it's taking the moments and turning around for good. Because we all, even though it seems like the worst moment, like I said, we can turn everything around and make it purposeful. We can serve it, we can help, but we have to share. We get to share.
You get to share.
Stories. And you know what? It's not, I hear people all the time say, well, I don't really have a story and who wants to listen to me? And I said, first of all, no, everybody has a story and every story is important. Mine isn't more important than yours. Yours isn't more important than mine. They're just different. And the reason we share them is so that we can learn. And so we can and so we can take from other people something, wow, that's a blind spot. I missed that. I didn't think about things like that. And if you share and I pull something from that, I've grown. I've learned. So
Exactly.
I keep that all inside, right? Like share it with the world so we can all flourish.
Yes. And that's actually, and it's so funny that you say that because in our P2S program, that's one of the things that I stress to the people that's a part of the program is I hear that statement all the time. I don't have a story. I don't have an audience. Who am I going to talk to? Nobody wants to listen to me. But guess what? We all have an audience. We all have something to share. Just because your audience may not connect with me, but if someone hears my voice and hear my testimony and my story, somebody else may connect with me and vice versa. So there's an audience for everybody and everybody has a testimony to share because you will always run. Your testimony is because you're going to always run across somebody that is going through that same thing that you're going to share what you went through that's going to help to elevate them and bring them through. Because we go through things. It's not just for ourselves. It's not for ourselves. It's for you're going through it because God trusts you enough. He trusts you enough for the journey and for you to share it with the next person because he's going to put somebody in your path for you to share that testimony with.
And who are that God is right? I mean, who are he knows we've got a story. He created it.
He created it.
Who, and this is so interesting because I heard this and the name is escaping me. She's a powerful, powerful woman. I do this all the time. I need to have little notes like around my computer of people, but because like it just goes. But anyway, she said, who are we to think that we aren't deserving of our life? Who are we to think, are we really that self-righteous that we are going against our God-given right to be born, to be here, to live? Like when you think of it in that way, you're like, oh, well, yeah, I mean, who am I to think?
Right.
I'm worthy. Someone thinks I'm worthy. God thinks I'm worthy, and you get to think you're worthy. And that's another great point that you brought up that I'll segue into, is the reason that a lot of people say that they don't have a story that comes from self-belief. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what we all work on. I mean, I was a person, oh girl, okay.
Okay, come on now, give it to us raw. Yeah.
Might gotta stand. Okay, I'm holding this thing. We're getting real.
It's real talk. This is real talk, Robin. Let's go in.
Okay, here we go. I was that person that growing up, I shut my voice down so much because I didn't think I had something poignant to say. I didn't think anybody would think I'm smart. For whatever reason, I'm a creative person.
Mm-hmm.
In my mind, creativity wasn't smart. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, we all have intelligence, right? But this is what this was me in class. I was kind of like,
You're raising your hand, but you don't really want them to call on you. So you don't want them to see you. Yes.
and then most of the time I didn't even raise my hand. So I sat in silence for most of my life until I discovered that I was just letting in all this noise. I'm letting in judgment. I'm letting people control my thoughts. I'm allowing that. And when we take responsibility for what we allow in our lives, we realize it really does all come down to me. And that is belief, right? That is your story is you, because you are awesome. You're amazing. You're beautiful. You are everything that you need in this world to grow and thrive personally and professionally. And the only person that needs to believe that is you, and then everybody else around you will. And it takes years to harness that sometimes. And sometimes people don't have it. But for those of us that work on it. Figure out what it is that you're doubting about yourself, because I bet you most of the time it's coming from outside noise. It has nothing to do with who you think you are.
Yeah. And it's so funny because with you saying that, the majority of the time it comes from our upbringing. It comes from the way that certain statements was made to us as kids. And whether it be a family member, whether it be the kids in the neighborhood, whether it be a teacher, all of that stuff comes into us. And what we do with it is, the problem. So if we're digesting all of that, if somebody is telling you you're not going to be worth anything, you're going to be like your brother or your sister, all of that stuff is harnessed inside of us. And it becomes what you are in your your adult life, because you're thinking that's what's constantly being told to you, and it's always playing back in your head. So you're growing up thinking those negative things, whereas we should be speaking positive things over our kids. We should be speaking positive things over our own lives. I'm a firm believer of affirmations. I'm a firm believer of affirmations and being grateful every day. Because it's included in our planner, but I believe what you speak over your life is what it becomes. So if you're speaking negativity over your own life, that's what it's going to become. You're not going to expect anything more, because you're expecting the worst to happen all the time. But when you're speaking things in existence that hasn't flourished yet, you're in expectancy of it.
Yes. Amen to that. And two, when you're talking about the anxiety,
Hold it again.
it's gonna. Girl, I've never had this problem.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know what's going on here. This is live. See, this is real.
This is live. This is real talk, you guys. We're giving it to you live and raw. So this is real talk. No edits. No, we're giving it to you as it comes. And I don't have any questions for Robin. I'm giving it to her the way that they come to me. I asked God to give it to me before we start, and we just go in. So if you guys have some questions, drop it in the chat. If you guys want us to answer any questions, do us a favor and put your questions in the chat. That's what we're here for. We're going to have real talk. Actually, Robin, we went over already. Are you still open to stand a little bit longer? Yeah, it's been 30 minutes already. I need to change the show. I
We-
gotta change the show because we can't do real talk in 30 minutes. So we're gonna change it. We're gonna change it.
Real talk takes time. Real talk.
Okay.
Real talk. But like, that's so great what you said. I have all the time in the world for you, Cynthia, tonight. I'll be here until 3 a.m. if you want. But to just tag on to what you said, I would love to use this example too, right? So I had a beautiful childhood growing up. I was adopted from birth. My brother was also adopted from birth from different parents. My brother, my best friend, we had a great childhood, right? Things get fuzzy along the way. But when people always tell me to look back and what did my parents do to me, right? I was like, my parents, they never did anything to me. Well, I'll laser this story for time, but really what I got a chance to do was look back, and my parents didn't do anything. They raised me beautifully. They gave me love and comfort and support. It's how I took lessons that they gave with love and how I imparted them on my life. So it's what I took from them. They never taught me to shut my voice down. It's from stories that I heard of poignancy and grace and all these things that I thought that was the way to be. And in reality, that's me. I'm a messy person. We're all messy people, but I chose to take it that way. But I lived my whole life that way. I lived my whole life with my voice shut down. So also think about that too, because I get people that come to me and say, well, I didn't have anything from my childhood that was bad. And I said, but you took something from somewhere, even though it came from love, and imparted it into your life. And that's how we grow, and that's what formulates us. And when you have that aha moment of, oh wow, that's why I did that, and that's silly. Like, why did I ever do that? I mean, there's so many things that we go through, and when we discover something, we're like, oh, all right, that was a blind spot. That was something I didn't see, and now we can grow it. And I just think that's beautiful. But you're so right. It's what we take into our lives, how we manifest that, and then what we do going forward. And it's pointless to have anxiety about the future. That's what anxiety is. It's about the future. We don't know what the future is. Just worry about right now, right? So simple. Worry about right now. Easy.
And it's so true, because you know what, even thinking back, one of the things that my parents used to always tell us, give it a try. You try it. You go. They always allowed us to try different things. You go, you try it, you give it your all, you do your best. However, there were things that I would try and I didn't like it, so I would stop. So as an adult, I found that my way of being was I would start things and never finish them. But it would only came from me realizing it wasn't, my parents was not the problem. They gave us the opportunity to try these new ventures, but what along the way, I would stop. And it was okay with them, because what they were saying is, as long as you gave it your all and you tried. But in my mind, what I would do is I literally would stop. And I found as an adult, I would start things and I would not finish them. I would never complete a project if I got to the point where I was not interested in it anymore, or if I felt like it was too hard, or I didn't want to give it my all. That was my way of being.
Absolutely.
So I literally had to come to terms with, that's not my way of being. Because really, my parents didn't teach us that. I just shifted my thought process into thinking it was okay. And it's not okay.
It's not okay.
So that was one of my aha moments of me digging deep into my childhood. And like you said, it was done out of love, because they gave us the opportunity to try new things, venture out, do this and do that. However, they also gave me the opportunity to try it. And if I didn't like it, I could stop. So
yes,
I had to grow and learn from that. Yes, that was my aha moment, okay?
I love it. I love
Okay, that was truly my aha moment. So yes.
so good to look back, and we hate looking back sometimes. It's so good to look back and understand ourselves because we came from somewhere. We were molded somehow, probably by
Mhm.
ourselves. But and then on the flip side, there's a lot of people that come from really horrible upbringings, and it does so much damage in life. But it's good to unpack. It's good to unpack, repack, build that suitcase up, and take that baggage with you wherever you
Yes.
go because it's a
Wherever you go. Exactly. I totally agree. I totally agree. 110%. I'm just going to read you off some of the comments. Awesome conversation, ladies. I'm so happy to hear all of this info. We need to normalize our mental health just like our physical health. Yes, I agree with that 100%. It's vital that everyone dig deep into their childhood. That's good. Yes, it's very important for us to do that. Because it winds up being a hindering spot from us if we don't. You know, it could stop you from really moving and stepping outside of your comfort zone because you're being in that comfort zone, you're comfortable, but there's no growth in the comfort zone. You're never going to grow if you just stay in the comfort zone. And that's one of the things I teach all the time is I teach our students the step outside, challenge yourself. There's no challenge inside the comfort zone because you're comfortable.
what fun is that? If you think about it, we all want to be happy. We all want to find joy. So if we just sit in comfort and just let all this pass by, suffering is imperative to living because
Mm-hmm.
it, we will take for granted so many things in our life. Like it's imperative, just lean into it, grow from it, learn from it, expand your mind from it. I mean, it's it's hard, but it really is beautiful if you allow yourself to accept these things that come to you, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
for you. I mean, we could go on a rampage right now, Cynthia. I could talk to you about miscarriage. I could talk to you about plane crash, deaths. I can talk to you about losing a brother to addiction. I got it all, girl, just like everybody else does. But
Mm-hmm.
those things were imperative for my life where I am right now. My calling is to serve people that are stuck in their struggle, in their pain. And it's because of those things that got me here. I was an event planner for crying out loud. You know? And now I have a passion to serve people stuck in that space because I was in that space. You know,
Yeah.
losing losing a husband, losing a brother. I mean, people lose things. But what do you gain from it? You know, my brother, I'll just share a quick story, but my brother passed away. He's my best friend. He was a recovering alcoholic. His body was recovering from so many years of damage. He had onset cirrhosis of the liver and a bunch of other things. He passed away in his sleep. He had a 7-month-old baby girl, Isabella, and he had another child on the way. And I now am the adoptive mother of those babies. The biological mother relinquished her rights, but I became a mother because of my brother. He gave me the biggest gift another human being could give to someone in my book. And that's what I'm doing now. And there is beauty in tragedy everywhere. We just have to see it. You have to accept it. You have to learn and love and grow from it. L4.
Yeah, that is. And that is L4. That is exactly L4. And you have such a powerful testimony. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. Because guess what? There's so many other people that's out there that is just like we spoke earlier, is because you just shared that, somebody is out there that's listening, needed to hear that. There's somebody that's out there that needed to hear those words to say, there is still hope. Even in my pain, even in my loss, there is still something out there that God, my purpose, my divine purpose is waiting for me. Whether it be just like you're raising, you have kids now. Beautiful, beautiful babies. Okay. So Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. And when you live that way and you live accepting of things, grow from them, life comes to you, right? I have a wonderful Cliff in my life who brought me two other girls that I get to be a second mom to. So a 17-year-old and a 13-year-old. I have 4 children in my life now when I had suffered 7 miscarriages and was like, how am I ever going to be a mom? I lost my husband. I couldn't get pregnant, can't carry a baby to term. I was deemed an anomaly. And now I have 4 beautiful girls and a totally different life. But it happens. It unfolds as it should. We just get to trust.
Yeah. Yes. And God is so strategic in all that he does. He's so strategic because who would have ever thought that those losses would equate to where you are right now? Yeah.
I know. You wouldn't. And when you get lost, right? You're lost in what is this? Why? And then you keep going. I remember when I was suffering these miscarriages with my husband, we just kept going. We kept going. We didn't grieve, right? We didn't have an end game. We didn't have a plan. We just kept going and going. And ultimately, that was a demise that happened in our marriage too, because it made us alive. It was something that was so painful that we kept pushing down and didn't communicate with. And we suffered a separation because of it. And then as we're coming back together, I lose him in a plane crash. And so and I could tell you, this story could go on because, God is so magical, right? I mean, first of all, I live in a world of magic, right? I want to live in magic every day.
Yes.
Hogwarts, Harry Potter. So, God, I woke up one morning and I remember I had this like epiphany, right? Because my husband and such a wonderful man, he also had his demons. We all do, right?
Yes.
He moved out of our home. He moved out of our home, and we were in the separation. And his clothes were gone, his stuff was gone. And that was just a dark place. I never thought that was going to happen, right? My marriage, my vows, all of these things. And when we were coming back together, which most people did not know about. And so when he died, we decided we were going to work on things. He called me the night before he died in a plane crash. And most people didn't know this, nor did they choose to believe me. And that's a whole other story. That's when we let judgment come in. That was a whole other black, dark space to live. But I stopped and I thought this morning that I had this epiphany of, wow, God saved me in a small way. I didn't have to, once he passed, I didn't have to go through my whole house.
Oh, wow.
Get rid of or save or box up some of his stuff. It's a huge undertaking for people to do, right?
Yeah.
That's one thing God saved me from. I understood the separation. Because he knew so much more was
ahead.
Cynthia. I mean, a plane crash and lawyers and I mean, it was a mess. And that was one thing that I was saved from. And so you stop and you think about these moments of like, why did we get separated? This is my dream to be married right to this man. And this happened. It's like, okay, all right, I'm following.
I get it.
Here I
I
am.
get it. Yes, I surrender. I surrender all. Yes. Yes, I surrender all. Yeah. So
You got surrendering. That's what we all get to do in our life, right? The second we surrender to what our life is, the second we surrender to who we are, just being us, messy and baggage and full of all this stuff, right? That's when we become the leaders of our life.
yeah.
That's when we choose freedom. And I say this line sometimes to people because it really is how I feel. The day that my husband died is the day that I started to live, because it's the day that I became the realest version of who I was. And then years after that, we grow and we learn and we heal. And now I'm authentic. I can say that I'm authentic, whereas I thought I was authentic before and I really wasn't at all.
Yes, yes. Somebody else just posted, she understood the assignment. And it's so weird that most of us, I'm not quite sure who the person is that just made that statement, but that is such a true statement, because what happens is most of us don't understand our assignment. I say that because a few years back, actually it was right before Plans of the Righteous was birthed, I went through something with a loved one, and I didn't understand, but I stayed persistent to hear what God had me to do. And through that process, even though we never had an argument or a disagreement, God just moved us apart. But what happened is God still had me praying for him, as well as birthing out Plans of the Righteous. And I look back now, had that never took place, I don't know if Plans of the Righteous would have ever been birthed, because I was so entwined into the relationship that I probably was not going to be hearing God as clearly as I should have. But when he moved people out of your life, and you just sit there and listen to him, and you work on that relationship with him, you're able to hear him. You're able to birth things. He's able to give you assignments, and you understand the process, even though you may not understand the journey. I didn't understand the journey. I didn't know that Plans of the Righteous, a Plannr, would be birthed into Real Talk. I didn't realize it would be an accountability call. I didn't realize it was going to be a Facebook group. I didn't realize I would be coaching. I didn't realize that I would be doing group coaching and publishing planners and being a planner coach. I didn't realize all of that. But God knew. I just had to stay persistent with the journey, even though I didn't see the end. And I still don't see the end. I really do. Just like I'm sure you don't. You don't see the end. You're just going for the ride. Put your seatbelt on and go for the ride, okay?
Yes, because we don't want to. There is no end, right? There's only limitless possibility and opportunity that we get to create in our lives because we can, right? Because we can. And that's the thing. The journey is the coolest part because it's so messed up. The journey is so messed up in so many ways. But that's what makes it so awesome and so beautiful is I was such a perfectionist. Oh my God, Cynthia. The Lord was probably, yes, to you. Oh, yeah, it's something I constantly work on.
Yeah, me too.
It's so awful being a perfectionist. Nobody be a perfectionist. Just let that go. It's so much better being imperfect and embracing that. But so when I started L4 and I didn't have a plan of where it was going, that was so unlike me. I mean, I'm telling you, I would have had spreadsheets and documents and this, I have this avatar and this person and I've got, blah, blah, blah. I just went with it. And it started out as a blog. It was a blog of me just expressing how I was feeling and what I was going through. And then it went to the next level and the next level. And I have a 21-day summit coming up with some of the most amazing human beings from all walks of life that are birthing into other business opportunities that I didn't even see. And that's the cool part is simplify it all. My whole thing for 2022 is simplification, right? It's focus on something, go, and 10 things are going to come from that. Like you just don't have to have it all figured out because it's going to come and it's going to happen and you're going to morph 10 times from that. And that's right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, Robin, we can go on and on, but we're literally at 7:55. Listen, we thank you guys for staying with us this long. We thank you. We thank you. Robin, I may have to bring you back. We may have to have a real talk session too. Okay. So when is your summit coming, baby? When is your summit?
The summit launches February 21st is day one, 21 days, all walks of life. It's about turning your pain into power. It's called Finding the Beauty Within Tragedy, how to be remarkably resilient after loss. And that is loss of any kind, any sort of pain you're in. And it's exactly like I explained in the beginning and the top of the hour, what the retreat is all about. This is the summit, coming together, many different topics, all in one location. Tune in. Can't wait to have you.
I can't wait. Yes. I love it. I love it. Okay. So listen, I already have how they can get in contact with you. Definitely share with the people, of course. First, give them, you've already dropped so many tips. I don't know if we need to give any more tips. Do you want to give another tip?
I will give, well, it's a more tip, but another tip. Don't ever silence yourself. Don't ever do what I did and silence yourself. The only thing that you need is you. The only person that will drive you is you. And you are all that matters, because when you put yourself first in your life, you are the bearer of everything good and powerful. And the people that love you, your family that's behind you, they get the best of you because you are worthy of giving yourself that kind of love. Don't silence yourself. Give yourself love, believe, and have grace. Have grace with yourself on your journey.
Amen. Amen. I totally agree. Amen. That was, listen, that was a powerful nugget now. So you guys can get connected with Robin. Tell everybody how they can connect with you, even though it's scrolling across the bottom, but tell everybody how they can get connected and let them know how they can register for the summit.
Yes. So you can bar, you can find L4livinglife.com, Robin Gargano L4 Gmail. We have a podcast that's coming out this year called Candy for Breakfast. If you'd like to be a guest on there, which guess who's going to be a guest on there? This one over here. Candy for Breakfast at Gmail. If you'd like to be a guest on the podcast, I'm on Instagram, Robin Gargano L4. I'm on Facebook. Message, private message, do all the messaging things that you can. Reach out. I would love to hear from people. I would love to just hear stories. I'd love to hear individuals, what they have to say, what they have to share. Like, it's all about the engagement of who you are. Just share it. Talk it out. Tell me all about it.
That's right. We want to hear it. We want to hear it all. Okay. So you guys, this actually is going to complete our show for tonight, even though we could probably talk for another hour plus 2-3 hours. We stay on the phone a long time. So, of course, this is going to complete our show for tonight. And we thank you guys for staying with us for as long as you did. We're going to have to change the show. It's going to have to be at least an hour, you guys. So we're going to have to stretch it for this year. I guess that's what 2022 is doing for us. We're going to change the hour of the show, okay? Okay, we love you guys. Stay connected with us. We really want to hear back from you. If you want to connect with Plans of the Righteous, definitely visit our Facebook page, join our Facebook community, Plans of the Righteous community, Facebook community. You can connect with us also on our Instagram and on Facebook, which is Plans of the Righteous Plannr, as well as Cynthia Robinson and Cynthia L. Robinson. Definitely do me a huge favor. Go over to our YouTube channel and subscribe to the channel, because guess what? Real Talk is only going to be on YouTube. We're moving it over to the YouTube channel. We gave you guys a little snippet for tonight, but it is officially going over to YouTube. So you're going to have to catch us on our YouTube channel, which is Plans of the Righteous. Plans of the Righteous. Subscribe to the page and get connected and join us with our subscribing to our page, which is Plans of the Righteous. www.plansoftherighteous.com or academy.plansoftherighteous. And that way you can join some of our groups or our group coaching programs. Thank you guys again for joining us tonight. Robin, thank you for being a guest on the show. You are welcome to come back anytime. I love you. Stick around, don't leave yet. We're gonna meet you behind the curtain, and I'm gonna end the show, y'all. We're gonna take it on out. Robin, tell the people bye.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for having me. What a great day. So much.
Thank you. We gotta go now. Peace, love, and happiness. We are out of here.